Freshman guard Brandon Williams is here. Go ahead and fire away.
As a guy from LA, how important is this trip for you?
I mean, it's really important. I mean, it's going back home in general. It's pretty cool, but at the end of the day, it's a business trip and trying to get a road sweep.
Did you ever have a preferred team when you grew up in LA? Did you watch UCLA more than USC, or was it the other way around?
I didn't really. The only time I really watched college sports was when Stanley Johnson, because he's from LA, and that's a guy who I really looked up to. So I think that's kind of why I fell in love with this place, Arizona. So I didn't really watch college like that.
Did you go to games at all?
Yeah, I went to UCLA games a little bit.
What did you take away from the atmosphere there?
It was crazy. I went when they had Zach LaVine, so that was wild. He's a high flyer, and you know, kind of brought it back when Lonzo came through. So it's kind of cool, and you know, it's just great atmosphere.
Were you at that game where Schroeder kind of went off and beat him?
Is that when he broke his hand?
No, the game he came back.
When he
after
came back from the suspension a couple of years ago.
suspension
Yeah.
at Poly and had that really good game, had the breakaway.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I went to the game where Zoe broke his hand in yeah, the overtimes. Yeah.
Oh, you were there?
I was at
At
that
SC?
game.
Yeah, what did you think of that? That was classic.
It was good. That was the time where a lot of things were going on, but it was cool. I wasn't really talking to Arizona like that, more of USC, but just getting to know their staff and just looking at just different atmospheres, and it was kind of cool how they was going back and forth, and you didn't know who was going to win.
Were you there as an unofficial for USC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you done anything to change your shot selection? You were 10-plus most games but then Pac-12 play. After the first game against Colorado, you've taken fewer shots. Is that by design, or is it just how things have worked out?
I'm just trying to take smarter shots, shots that I know I'm capable of making. I do it every day in practice. You know, coaches always emphasize on shot selection. I'm trying to do a better job of that as well as some of the other guys. And I can see right now we're rolling right now, so we're going to try to keep that up.
There's just one more question about that game, that 4 overtime game. Is there anything specific you remember about that game? I mean, Alonzo broke his hand and tried to shoot free throws with it, I remember, but anything like that, or, you know, just the craziness of that game?
Not really. I just remember, I think my whole team went on that trip. They came with me, but other than that, no. I just remember Trier after the game had an ice pack on his hand, and I kind of like realized it during the game that he kind of did something, but yeah, it was kind of a thriller.
Can you share like why USC wasn't the right fit for you when you were looking to make your final decision?
No, not really.
When you went before you committed here, was well, the second time around you weren't. I'm wondering, you were considering Gonzaga and Oregon. I didn't know if SC or UCLA. I don't know. Did you hear anything from those guys at that point? Or?
I did, but that wasn't really into my interest. You know, I'm here now, so I'm just gonna continue to do business.
Coach talked about you settling in last week. How much more comfortable are you now as opposed to maybe early December?
I'm starting to find my groove now. I feel like as a team as well, ever since really just the Bay Area, I think I really make that next step and adjusting quite well. Like I said, with shot selection and just picking my poison, you know, when to shoot or when to drive or when to dish it off. You know, I think I'm starting to get a good sense of that in college.
Was there a moment when maybe that light went on and you kind of were able to take that next step?
I'd probably say in the Bay Area. Started off a Stanford game. I started off kind of slow, or started off kind of hot, and then start to die off. But I think that's the next adjustment for me is just to keep that consistency.
Yeah, that Stanford game, you mentioned the hot start, but then you kind of got into that turnover phase.
Yeah.
You turned it over like 4 times, right? What happens when you kind of get into that mindset there where things kind of go awry?
You just got to stick with it. Just remember your concepts and continue to do the fundamentals that Coach always preaches with getting below the foul line and looking out instead of trying to score over a 7-footer or something like that, because there's always going to be a guy open. So I think I'm starting to figure that out slowly and slowly.
Well, I mean, looking back now that you're kind of at midseason here, I mean, it seems like you've had a lot of things thrown at you. Not only do they need you to score a lot, but just playing a lot of point guard. And when Justin was banged up there, you're playing even more of that. You know, and then defensively, I mean, has there been, you know, anything's kind of jumped out at you that maybe have been the hardest thing to get used to?
I'll probably say just my defense. You know, every night in, night out, I'm battling guys that can play. McKinley Wright, Peyton Pritchard, even Victor Bailey. You know, every night I got to go up against guys who can play and guys who crash the offensive boards. And then, yeah, just keeping off the boards and trying to push it.
How would you describe your relationship with Justin? I think he said the other night that he calls you Rook and you refer to him as old hat or something like that.
I call him an old head, yeah. He's like 29? Nah, I'm playing. But yeah, he's my vet. I look at him as a mentor, you know, a guy who can just not leave me on the court, but leave me off the court, making sure I'm doing the right things, making sure I'm staying healthy, because we always go to our little spot for breakfast or for dinner.
You said he watches like 6-7 hours of film. Is he impressed with that kind of preparation on you at all?
Slowly and slowly, I'm starting to get into that film stage, but you know, as a Rook, you know, I don't really watch too much film, but now I am.
Sorry. Does it ever get to the point where you're out with him and he pulls out his phone to watch a video of a game and talk to you about it or something, or is that on?
Nah, most of the time I walk into his apartment and then I would think he's watching like the Pacquiao fight or something like that, but instead he's watching like USC against TCU or something like that. So that's when I know he's a old head.
What wisdom does he impart on you, if any, when you guys are watching film together?
Just little things, you know, he always rewinds it. It's kind of like Coach Miller. He just stops asking me what he can do different, or just small things that people don't really recognize, or things that I didn't recognize, thinking outside the box. And I think that's important for me individually into getting that next step and next growth in my development.
Can you see him being a coach someday?
Yeah, definitely can. He has all the tools. I'll probably say people probably won't take him seriously because he jokes around too much, but yeah, he's pretty cool.
So what do you think about the matchups, you know, this game Thursday as a team and individually for yourself too, just some of the guys you'll be matched up with?
Well, we're not certain about Kevin Porter's what's going on with him, so we're not too sure about that, but I'm going to be guarding Jonah Matthews. I know he's a sharpshooter. He's a guy who's shooting over 40%. And he's a guy who's a 2-year starter. You know, he has experience over me. And like I said, I'm battling guys every night, and he's one of them.
So yeah, Porter, it seems like it's been kind of a mystery with that, the latest thing with him. So do you prepare for him, or how do you approach that? Yeah.
We're going to prepare for him. You know, just there's nothing wrong with being over-prepared.
How many people will you have at the games?
Say again?
How many people will you have at the games out there?
I'm guessing a lot. I didn't really get too many tickets, but I know for sure they bought them. But I'm not too sure. Probably over like 20.
Starting a 3-game road trip coming up, how important is it to maybe start USC off on the right foot, get a win?
It's very important, like you said, just starting off on the right foot. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with being over-prepared. And, you know, like I said, going into it, it's my hometown and all, but going in, I know I got to be locked in and focused on the task at hand.
Anything else for Brandon? All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.